Hello, YouTube! We want to welcome you to a Saturday edition of Big E Sports. This is your host, Eric the Big E Green. Now, what happened in sports last night? Well, let's start off with the NBA. Last night in the NBA, the Miami Heat was a winner over the Indiana Pacers, 124 to 111. The Orlando Magic picked up the win over the Philadelphia 76ers, 98 to 86. Detroit Pistons was a winner over the Toronto Raptors 99 to 95. The Atlanta Hawks was a winner over the Washington Wizards 129 to 117. Cleveland Cavaliers over the Chicago Bulls 144 to 126. The New York Knicks edged out the Brooklyn Nets 124 to 122. What a game that was between these two teams from the Bronx. The LA Lakers was a winner over the San Antonio Spurs 120 to 115. The Houston Rockets over the LA Clippers 125 to 104. It was the New Orleans Pelicans. They picked up the victory over the Denver Nuggets 101 to 94. Oklahoma City Thunder was a winner over the Phoenix Suns 98 to 83. The Golden State Warriors picked up the win over the Memphis Grizzlies 123 to 118. And finally, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they picked up the win over the Sacramento Kings 130 to 126. Now, what's going on today in the NBA? Well, there's only 5 games going on today. We have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Charlotte Hornets. The Toronto Raptors are taking on the Boston Celtics. LA Lakers is taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. San Antonio Spurs is taking on the Dallas Mavericks. And finally, the Utah Jazz is taking on the Sacramento Kings. So, what's your score prediction for those games today? Well, comment on YouTube. Now, what happened in college football last night? Well, let's take a look. Colorado State picked up the win over Wyoming 24 to 10. It was the University of UTSA over North Texas 48 to 27. Washington picked up the win over UCLA 31 to 19. And finally, Arizona over Houston 27 to 3. Now, what's going on today in college football? Well, let's take a look. We have the first-ranked Oregon Ducks. They're taking on the Badgers of Wisconsin. The Ohio State Buckeyes are ranked number 2. They are taking on the Wildcats of Northwestern. How about this game between these two teams, Texas and Arkansas? They used to play back in the days. Texas is ranked number 3. Arkansas is hoping to spoil their playoff chances. 4th-ranked Penn State is taking on Purdue. 6th-ranked BYU is taking on Kansas. It'll be 7th-ranked Tennessee. They're on the road at Athens, taking on the 12th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. That ought to be a good game to watch. 8th-ranked Notre Dame is taking on Virginia. 10th-ranked Alabama is taking on the Bears of Mercer. 13th-ranked Boise State is taking on San Jose State. 14th-ranked SMU taking on Boston College. 15th-ranked Texas A&M is taking on New Mexico State. Kansas State, they're ranked number 16, are taking on the Sun Devils of Arizona State. It's the 17th-ranked Buffaloes of Colorado taking on the Utes of Utah. 18th-ranked Washington State is on the road taking on New Mexico. 19th-ranked Louisville is on the road against the Stanford Cardinals. Number 20 Clemson Tigers is taking on the Panthers of Pitt. We have 23rd-ranked Missouri on the road at Columbia taking on 21st-ranked South Carolina. 22nd-ranked LSU is on the road taking on the Gators of Florida. And finally, Tulane, they're ranked number 25. They're taking on the Midshipmen of Navy. So what's your score prediction for the top 25? Well, comment on YouTube. Now, what else is going on today? Well, Liberty is on the road taking on UMass. Louisiana Tech is taking on Western Kentucky. L.A. Monroe is taking on the Tigers of Auburn. Coastal Carolina is taking on Marshall. Murray State is on the road taking on Kentucky. FIU is on the road taking on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. FAU is taking on Temple. Michigan State is taking on Illinois. Syracuse is taking on California. We also have Sam Houston versus Kennesaw State. We have Hawaii taking on Utah State. Oregon State is taking on the Air Force. South Florida against Charlotte. We also have Nebraska versus USC. Oh, there's a lot more games here going on here, folks. We have Baylor taking on West Virginia. We have Troy taking on Georgia Southern. We have James Madison versus Old Dominion. We also have Arkansas State taking on Georgia State. We have Rutgers taking on Maryland. South Alabama is taking on Louisiana. We also have Southern Miss taking on the Texas State Bobcats. We also have North Carolina taking on Wake Forest. Cincinnati is on the road taking on the Cyclones of Iowa State. UAB is taking on Memphis. And finally, San Diego State is taking on UNLV. So what is your score prediction for those games today? Well, comment on YouTube. That's going to do it for me today. Have a blessed day.